the 283. Ow! That guy died. Just kidding, he was only messing around. Sorry guys, I know that my camera decided to focus on the chronograph and not me, which is really annoying. Now I need to start this video out by eating a little bit of crow. In my Matthews V3 video, I said this about Bowtech's lineup.
Bowtech, which still seems like they're kind of struggling with their identity a little.
Now at the time they had only announced the Solution SD, the Icon, and the Eva Shockey series. 2 days later they came out and said that they were going to be releasing 2 more bows, and I was like, okay, that makes sense. It seemed like they were missing something because they were missing something. Now, I looked back through Bowtech's lineups over the years and I realized that part of my confusion with their lineups wasn't that the lineups didn't make sense, it was my own ignorance. Bowtech's probably the major manufacturer that I'm least familiar with. And looking through their lineups, it's pretty clear that it's not that their lineups don't make sense over the years, they're just different than everybody else's. So, whereas most companies offer you the same bow in different sizes, essentially, right? Like Matthew says they're V3, they're 28 and they're 31 or whatever it is that particular year. Hoyt's got their normal bow, their Ultra. PSE's got their NXTs in different sizes. Prime's got their CT or Black Series in different sizes, or the Nexus in the case of this year. Bowtech gives you essentially similar looking risers, but totally different cam designs and bows in different sizes. So different take, different style, and with the launch of now the Solution SS and the Solution last week, that's 3 flagship bows. You have the SD, the short draw, the SS, the super smooth, and the normal Solution, which is going to have the comfort and speed mods on there. So that's their faster flagship bow. It's pretty clear with all these bows, they've kept things pretty consistent as far as like the riser design. They're carrying over that deadlock shim system, which everybody loves. I think most of the industry is trying to emulate or come up with their own solution for that. Solution. See what I did there? Their clutch grip, which is the interchangeable back straps, which I really like. I think it's an ingenious little design. They have those little harmonic dampeners that you can move all around the bow. I don't know, I haven't gotten to mess with those, but I think that's a pretty cool little feature to have in there. And the overall ergonomics, the binary cam, that's something that Bowtech's had for years. So yesterday I stopped into my local shop, Adventures Archery. I got to shoot the Solution SD, a fully rigged out one, and the Solution, I didn't shoot the Solution SS, and I'll explain why later, but I shot both those bows, and they seem to be shooters. I think Bowtech did a really good job. I'll start with the Solution SD because I was critical of this bow, not because I thought it was going to be a bad shooter, but because I was confused about their marketing it to short draw archers. And I said this in my Nexus 2 review.
Their Solution SD, that's their short draw model. It maxed out at 28.5 inches. The speeds, the advertised speeds are only in the 320s. That's just too slow.
And people were really quick to jump in the comments like, you're an idiot, how do you not know IBO speeds are calculated at 30-inch draw lengths, and of course it's not going to be as fast as the other flagships because it's a shorter draw length bow. I know all of that. Even when you scale up, which you can do, right? The average bow gains between 8 to, being really generous, 12 feet per second for every inch of draw length. So even if you add 1.5 inches of draw length and the equivalent speeds to the Solution SD, the advertised IBO speed still felt a little bit off of the pace. And when I shot the Solution SD, it shot great, by the way, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But when I shot the Solution SD, I was shooting a bow that was fully rigged out, had sight, rest, stabilizers, the whole kit on there, and I was getting speeds of 283 feet per second with a lightweight arrow. It was a 413 grain arrow that we were shooting. Now the bow that I was shooting, I was told was 65 pounds. It felt a little bit stiffer than that, but assuming it was 65 pounds, 283 with a 413 grain arrow, which if you scale up is actually faster than the IBO speed, would be at 30 inches. So I was wrong. Personally, I'm a 28.5-inch draw length shooter. I would be willing to sacrifice the 7-inch brace height that this bow comes with for some extra speed, and I don't think I'm alone in that. Now, if you've been watching the channel or following Knights of the Apex on Instagram at all, my criticism that I would rather trade some comfort for speed shouldn't come as a shock to anybody. After all, my favorite bow right now is that Expedite hanging up behind me, which is only a 5.5-inch brace height bow. But that bow shot that same exact arrow at 306 feet per second.
Flex.
Now, there was also an RX-5 there that we were shooting at same arrow, 70 pounds, 28.5-inch draw length, and that bow was only getting speeds of 284. So consistently 284 though. So yeah, 283 with a lightweight arrow. That's a little slower than I would like to see out of a bow at 28.5-inch draw length. For me personally, right, if I'm considering a bow, I'd feel much more comfortable with a bow in the 290s, which is what the Solution was at. Now that Solution was marked at 73 pounds. It was also set to 28.5-inch draw length, and I was getting 280 feet per second with that same arrow that we shot out of those other bows. So that too, for a bow that is advertised IBO speed at 346, just a hair, I think, off the mark. I would expect it to be a little bit higher in the 290s. But one thing I did mess up was I forgot to check whether the bow was in comfort or these performance settings. So I'm going to assume it was in comfort because a lot of people that have reached out have said that the Bowtech felt a little stiff on the draw, and I didn't notice that at all. It felt like a more forgiving, little bit more well-rounded Matthews cross-centric, their cross-centric cam. It was a little stiff on the beginning, but very smooth pull. Once you went into the valley, it felt comfortable. I didn't feel like it was trying to pull the string away from me at all. And 290 with that arrow setup, you know, again, slightly off the pace, but all in all, pretty good. Both of the bows that I shot held really nice. The balance point of the Bowtechs with their binary cams is a little different than what I'm used to on my PSEs. I noticed that I had to adjust my grip a little to put more pressure on my thumb side. So if I just connected my index finger and my thumb, that made everything run true right down the middle. So little adjustment, but shooting it, the bows were quiet. They were dead in the hand. There was a little bit of residual vibration after the shot. Nothing that I would describe as hand shock. And by the way, guys, if there's any reviewers still using the term hand shock to describe modern hunting bows, they're being dramatic. There's no hunting bow on the market right now, at least no flagship hunting bow on the market right now that has hand shock. There's a little bit of vibration, but that's not a big deal. Target archers, their bows have plenty of vibration, and those guys are shooting 900 rounds at Vegas. So the whole vibration thing, I think we can start to let it go now. Of the bows that I've shot so far, the Bowtechs were pretty dead in the hand. They felt good. They felt balanced. I didn't notice any kick after the shot on either the SD or the Solution. I really liked that Solution. I think that it would be a definite contender. Again, I haven't shot the Ventum or the EVL yet, but I really liked shooting the Bowtechs. I think especially that Solution is going to be a contender for a lot of people this year. I think they've packed a lot of technology. They've made a lot of innovations, and I think that the overall bow is definitely, it's a shooter. I mean, I could definitely see it being a shooter. You know, you have to go in and shoot these bows for yourself. You can't go off of what other people are telling you. I went into the shop expecting, based on what I've heard from people that I respect, I was expecting to like the RX-5 and be underwhelmed with the Bowtech, and I had the complete opposite experience. So you really have to get in there, shoot for yourself. Again, you've heard me talk at far too long about the Expedite and how that bow is perfect for me. It's just that perfect balance of it does everything else well enough and then gives me that speed. It's just that's the perfect combination for me, and it still has those Evolve cams that are still my favorite cams on the market. So you have to find that same fit for you. Now, why I didn't shoot the Solution SS, it wasn't set up to my draw length. I could have had the shop set it up, but to me, the Solution felt smooth enough that, again, it just kind of overshadowed the SD or the SS. I just, in real world, if it was my money on the line, I would not see myself compromising the speed for that extra comfort of either the SD or the SS. I think the Solution was comfortable enough if I was dead set on buying a Bowtech that would be the Bowtech. I wouldn't consider the other two. So I just didn't take the time to shoot the SS. The shop was getting really busy. The Bowtech sales rep actually was in there, but he was busy filling out purchase orders, which is way more important than talking to me. I know where I am on the totem pole, but the shop was getting really busy, so I wasn't going to take up more of their time shooting in the back, and I kind of ditched out of there. But guys, yeah, I don't really know how to end this review other than, tip my hat to Bowtech. You guys did a really good job this year, and I think it's 2021 is shaped up to be a pretty big year. I don't think a lot of us had very high hopes, but the manufacturers really surprised us, and I think I'm excited, and I've been impressed with most of the bows that I've gone and shot and the advancements that have come. So, I think, get out, test them, shoot them, keep sending, and I'll catch you guys next time. Thanks.